Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have this Damasko. Now this is the DC86. It's available in a few different flavors. What we have is the all black with the green accents on this one, but you can also get it in a silver with the black bezel, I believe. Also, you can get it with the orange, or if you're a bit more conservative, you can get just plain simple white hands on here. But I have to say, I think that these green hands you can see are very, very cool, and they just kind of, yeah, they give it a bit more pop, let's say. Overall, the design of the watch is lovely. This is one which carries their Airbus Defence and Space certificate. So what that means is it's put through quite a few rigorous different testing in both shock, impact and vibration to pass that. So it's done very well to actually do that. But before I get too far into this review, I've got to say a massive thank you to the team over at First Class Watches of Kenilworth for allowing me to review this piece. Lots of cool, funky watches. So I'd strongly recommend, if you're in the Midlands area of the UK, to pop into the shop. If you're a little bit further afield, well, don't worry, I'll leave a link in the description and at the bottom of the page now. All I ask, if you do contact them, please mention the channel. One thing I would say, if you stay to the end of the video, you're going to get to see something quite cool with this watch, which I guarantee no one else has even tried. So anyway, sizes. We are talking a case size of 42mm, but the bezel size is 43.8. As you can see, there's quite a bit of overhang over there, which does enable you to grip the bezel and move it around a little bit more easier, though it has to be said. The thickness of the watch, I'm reading 14.6mm thick. The lug to lug is coming in at a smidge over 50mm, around about 50.1-ish. And the strap size on this is 22mm. The dial though, the dial just looks cool. It's got that real classic look about it. If I start with chronograph, you can hear the pusher. Very positive click to it. Definitely got a very snappy click. Now, this is where things get a little bit more interesting. As you can see, we've got the second hand dancing around there, but we've got another hand up here. Let's talk about ease first, and it will make more sense. Over here, we have a 24-hour indicator. So basically, while the hand is on this side of this section, we're in AM, and then it's PM over on this side. Over here, we have a green hand. This obviously corresponds to the chronograph. So this is an hour totalizer. It goes up to 12, so you can read up to 12 hours of elapsed time with this. And then over here, we have the constant running seconds, and that is for your standard timekeeping. So this hand up here is the minute reader. So this is very reminiscent of the old Le Manier 5100 movements. I've got a watch with that, and it's one of the few I used to take running before we all had the smartwatches, because the simple fact is you can actually read it while you're running. It's very hard to actually read a subdial if you're out, actually jogging or any kind of fitness activity. And it does do a jump cycle, as you can see there, so it jumps over. This kind of airplane style has always been very reminiscent of that style of center minute chronograph readers. So, and the good thing with the green is there's no way you can get it mixed up with your standard timekeeping there. You do have a date with the black background down here at the 4:30 position, which does look quite nice, clean, tidy. But one thing I would say is they have gone full chapter and verse up here with the readings, the written text. We've got central minute counter, I should say. Do we really need to know that? We can tell that, military certificate and so forth. Let me just pull the hands out way so you get a better view of that. Let's just see. Let's pull that. Yeah, you can just about see it all there. There is an awful amount of writing, it has to be said. Let's start that back off. But, it is what it is. It still looks good. You've got Made in Germany down there. I like the way the three subdials have been recessed in a little bit. It gives it a very clean, sharp look to it. There is loom on this watch, but to be fair, it's not the longest lasting of looms, but it is there nonetheless. As we come past this, we've got a sapphire crystal, double domed with AR coating. It does blend in nicely, it has to be said, with the actual bezel there. But when I was outside taking the shots, you can see in many of them there is quite a bit of reflection. A little bit more AR and it would have been really good. I personally like AR on both sides. I know some people don't. They say you can mark it, but hey, it's a watch. You can mark anything on a watch. In worst case scenario, you can always remove it. But that's how I would have liked to have seen it, but that's just my own personal choice there. The bezel. Let's have a listen to the action. Now, this is a bit weird. It's got a lovely action, to be fair. 60-minute. Yeah, they're always solid, I think, 60-minute, 60-click bezels. But obviously, we don't have the standard dive bezel arrangement here. We've got the 1 to 11. Now, what this enables you to actually do is read a second time zone. So I'm based in the UK. I've got family over in Calgary in Canada. And so if I wanted to read the time over there, I know for a fact it's -6 hours from where we are here. So if I go, that's 1 hour, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now all you do is when you read the hour hand, you use the numbers on the outside of the bezel. So this would read, so 7:53. Yeah. So that's it, 7:53. You leave it like that, you can always read the time on a second time zone like that. But that's the simple way and how you do it. I would say the bezel does rotate both ways. I'm not quite sure why you need a 60-click for a GMT. It would have been better, I think, with either half clicks or just a full 1 hour clicks. Yeah, either way, it's not really, it's no great hardship. It keeps costs down. The actual insert, I believe, is ceramic. But overall, I like it. It does feel good. The case of the watch is a nice, simple case. It's been PVD treated. Now, it gets a bit confusing. So they do say the actual hardness, I believe, is 700 Vickers. But then on the back, it goes on about the PVD being 2,500, which does seem like an awful lot, to be fair. I know other brands only state around about 1,800, so I don't know if they do something different. It's just one of those things. So if it is that hard, then it means scratching this watch should be very, very hard, to say the least. So it is always, it's better to have than not have, let's say. The crown, signed, and it is a screw down crown, does feature what they call their patented crown system. All that really means is there's 2 washers in there, 2 little O-rings, and it should keep the oil between them. So as you slide the stem in and out, it will actually maintain the oil between there. So no problem there at all, because this watch does feature, after all, 100 meters of water resistance to it. Let's have a reset, actually. We can see the chronoback jump back. Here we go. Very sharp and positive. Now, as we come around to the back, we've got absolutely more writing than you can ever believe on the back of these. We don't have a display case back on this, but basically what you got under there is the ETA 7750. They call it the C516, I think it is, which basically, you've got the actual workings for the center chronograph on there. They say it's a top grade. I put it on the time grapher. At first it wasn't doing, it was still doing okay, but it was a little bit erratic. So I demagged it, put it back on there, and then it was running, I think, about +2, +3 seconds. So very, very good. Power reserve, they say, is 50 hours. It does feature 2 more joules at 27 joules rather than the standard 25 joule. I haven't stripped one down, so I can't tell you where they actually are, but fair enough to them. It works. It's a very nice movement, so all good. This watch also features low pressure resistance as well, so that's all part of the airburst defense and range. Basically, it means in low pressure you shouldn't lose the crystal on the front of this watch, which may sound silly, if that ever happens, but if you're a pilot, that can happen quite easily. So, you do want that in there. The actual strap on this, now this is where I pointed out earlier, we're going to mention something which you don't normally see. The strap is a leather strap. It is very nice. Feels nice and soft on the inside. Very, it's nice and thick. Feels like it will last. So, no problems at all. We do have 2 keepers, one floating, one fixed. There is also a signed buckle. Unfortunately, it's like the pin style one. I do prefer a slightly thicker buckle because I always think they just tend to, when it comes to selecting a hole, they go in a little bit easier and they don't mark up quite so much. There isn't a bracelet option, unfortunately, on this one. But I thought I'd just give it a go because obviously I've got one. I thought I'd try and see if a Zinn bracelet would go on this. I know it's absolute heresy to mention the two almost side by side, but it fits. What can I say? If you're, want a black Damasko but you've always wanted a bracelet rather than a leather strap, you can actually fit the Zinn one on there. Always food for thought. But, you do have that option, so it is kind of nice to see. Let me put this on my wrist so you got an idea how it looks. That bracelet is actually from my Zinn U2. Also, I must point out the silicone strap, as I remember, I think I've tested once before, will fit the Damasko. And these silicone straps are brilliant. They really do work. Bob has got the rather nice Larco on there. That's the Larco Vine. No, not Vine. Yeah, Veen, sorry. 39mm. I've got a bit of a soft spot for that watch. I really quite like it. Let me put this on. Can I get this to work? Here we go. I'm not going to do it up tight because it's a leather strap. I don't want to mark it. But as I say, 18.5 centimetre wrist, and it looks very cool. It's a nice solid watch, I think. Really cool, classical style chrono, but just with a funky colour job on there. Cost, I think in Germany it's €4,200. First class watches around about £3,700, but there's always a good deal to be had. So, contact them if you want this watch. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you to it with that, but most importantly, you'll stay safe out there. Take care. Bye.